He has searched for animals thought to be extinct, faced with snakes and crocodiles, and now for Shark Week, local resident Forrest Galante is back and investigating rumors of a walking shark. Take a look.
Look, look. Look at him using those fins. This is so incredible.
All right. Oh, my goodness. Joining us now live is a good friend of our show, international wildlife conservationist and biologist Forrest Galante. Forrest, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. Always great to be here.
All right. A lot of questions about Island of the Walking Sharks. That's your show that premieres tonight.
Yep.
Tell us, you found walking sharks?
Yeah, so it's so exciting, Elise. In Papua New Guinea, there are 3 relatively recently described species of walking cat shark, otherwise known as epaulet sharks. And what we know is that around 9 million years ago, these animals evolved the specialized ability to use their pectoral and pelvic fins to sort of crawl along the sea floor like a salamander. But locals in Papua New Guinea have been reporting that they exhibit this behavior not just in the ocean, but to actually use their bodies to crawl up out of the ocean and walk on land to then enter into tide pools to hunt for small fish and crustaceans. So my team and I head to Papua New Guinea on tonight's show to see if for the first time in history we can actually confirm this and film this absolutely unique behavior.
Oh my gosh. Obviously, you can't tell us what happens, but just incredible. Tell us what filming was like. You've been all over the world. I know there's a lot of challenges when you're out and about trying to, deliver on these promises.
Yeah, well, Papua New Guinea was one of the logistically most difficult places we've ever had to work in. It is remote, it is isolated, it has a violent history, and it's just so spread out. So when we went there, we were targeting 3 different species, and each one of those species is 400 or 500 miles away from the other one in a place with practically no roads. So it was very challenging logistically. We got really fortunate in finding the first species, the Papuan epaulet, right in the capital city of Port Moresby by collecting them for the aquarium trade. The other 2 were a heck of a lot more tricky. We had to get very remote, had to get a big boat, get to the middle of nowhere. At one point, we actually had to embed with a native tribe that had spiritual connection to sharks and get them to give us information on to where to go. And honestly, there were just so many variables that we didn't know what the outcome would be. But at the end of the day, it all worked out. It was absolutely amazing.
So many challenges behind the scene. Quickly, before we let you go, you started a new production company called Fantasticus Pictures. Tell us about that.
Yeah, with pleasure. Thank you. So about 3 years ago, after seeing all of this production money just sort of going into people's pockets, my partner and I founded Fantasticus with the idea that it would be the only production company in the world that was actively financing conservation work in exchange for exposure and access. So it's sort of a win-win-win-win, because it's a win for the wildlife that gets the conservation work. It's a win for the scientists working on those animals. It's a win for myself because I still get to do all of these incredible trips and wildlife missions. And it's a win for the viewers at home because they get to see conservation on the front lines. So it's very well-rounded and something I'm very proud to be a part of.
Very cool. All right. Island of the Walking Sharks premieres at 8 o'clock on Discovery and Discovery Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate having you. So much fun.
Anytime.